Right, so good afternoon, friends, brothers and sisters, and we are now live in the social media platforms of the City of God Ministry, Archdiocese of Manila. And so, if you're watching today's live stream telecast of the Bible in Focus through your Facebook page, please do click on like, post a comment, and share this link with your friends, with your loved ones, with your family, so that they would be able to watch with you today's expository preaching of the gospel. And also, if you're watching today's live stream program through your YouTube page, please do click on like, post a comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Don't forget that notification bell, so that every time we upload new videos, whether it be our live stream telecast of the Bible in Focus or our Bible review programs, you'll be updated real time. And please do support the City of God Ministry. Every time that you give, it would go a long way in our work in the mission field for the Lord, for the advancement of the kingdom. And also, if you already have a copy of our book, The Josephology, a concise biblical exegesis on Saint Joseph, this book will truly enhance your devotion to Saint Joseph, and Saint Joseph will truly lead you towards Jesus. If you still don't have, just order a copy from us or from our distribution partners who are in the area of Greenhills, Makati, and also in Manila. In Greenhills, our distribution partner is Santuario de San Jose, Greenhills. It's a parish church. In Makati, we have the National Shrine of the Sacred Heart. Right now, we were informed that the National Shrine of the Sacred Heart, their religious store is still being renovated, but you could avail of our book, of our Josephology book, through their parish office. And lastly, in Manila, you could contact the Manila Council 1000, the Knights of Columbus. They would be happy to send you one, to purchase you, to get you a copy of the book as well. And if you're in the area of Manila, of the United Nations, and you wish to have a part in one of our services, we encourage everyone to have a part in our Bible Exposition in the Archdiocese of Manila, where you would be able to experience face-to-face worship and fellowship together with the community. We promise you, your life will change for the better. Details on how to send your donations, by the way, will be posted at the description box of this video and also through the comment section in our Facebook page as well. Okay, so we will be starting our live stream Bible in Focus. We are now on the third leg on our sermon series, calling evil good and good evil. For this past 2 weeks, we have been spreading on the table the causes of such degradation of the human condition. And frankly speaking, we are making progress due to the fact that it is very clear in the book, in scriptures, that the prerequisite for such a solution to happen, involves the cognitive aspect of the human person. and that no matter how much you would acknowledge what has been happening around, acknowledging is actually not enough. Yes, acknowledging the true teaching of the church is important. Another one that is equally important is actually following the teaching. Being righteous meant obeying every word that comes from Yahweh. And so yes, cognition is the first step in realizing what is actually good and bad. It is in making the choice on what to do next will actually determine where your life will be headed in the coming future. Hi, this is Christopher Niño Arca, expository preacher, exegete, scholar, and now an author of the book Josephology, a concise biblical exegesis on Saint Joseph. And you are watching Bible in Focus, where we will talk about our experiences and human conditions in light to sacred scriptures. Oh, by the way, we would like to know where you are right now as you are watching today's live stream telecast of the Bible in Focus. Type in where you are right now, so the City of God Ministry, Archdiocese of Manila, would know how far we are actually going as well in this online program. Again, if you love what we do here, our live stream programs, besides giving something to the people who are actually helping, the volunteers in the ministry, of course, transportation and everything, you can send your donation through the QR code, so that the QR code of the GCash and the InstaPay supplied in the community posts of our YouTube channel and also our Facebook page, which is down below at the comment section. So by the way, we are continuing our preaching with the Legacy Standard Bible. It would only be proper if we can go back to our original reading for those who are new here, so that everyone can tag along our sermon for today. So please open up your Bible in Isaiah chapter 5. We will be reading verses 8 to 30. Woe to those who add house to house and join field to field until there is no more room, so that you have to live alone in the midst of the land. In my ears Yahweh of hosts has sworn, surely many houses shall become desolate, even great and good ones without inhabitants. For 10 acres of vineyard will yield only 1 bath of wine, and a homer of seed will yield but an ephah of grain. Woe to those who rise early in the morning, that they may pursue strong drink, who stay up late in the evening, that wine may inflame them. And their banquets are accompanied by lyre and harp, by tambourine and flute, and by wine. But they do not look upon the deeds of Yahweh, nor do they see the work of his hands. Therefore, my people go into exile for their lack of knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude is parched with thirst. Therefore, Sheol has enlarged its throat and opened its mouth without limit, and Jerusalem's majesty, her multitude, her rumbling, and the exalted within her descend into it. So the common man will be bowed down, and the man of importance will be made low. The eyes of the lofty also will be made low. But Yahweh of hosts will be lofty in judgment, and the holy God will show himself holy in righteousness. Then the lambs will graze as in their pasture, and sojourners will eat in the waste places of the wealthy. Woe to those who drag iniquity with the cords of worthlessness, and sin as if with cart ropes, who say, let him hurry, let him hasten his work, that we may see it. And let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw near, and come to pass, that we may know it. Woe to those who call evil good, and good evil, who substitute darkness for light, and light for darkness, who substitute bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes, and understanding in their own sight. Woe to those who are mighty men in drinking wine, and valiant men in mixing strong drink, who declare the wicked righteous for a bribe, and remove the righteous standing of the ones who are righteous. Therefore, as a tongue of fire consumes stubble, and dry grass collapses into the flame, so their root will become like rot, and their blossom blow away as dust. For they have rejected the law of Yahweh of hosts, and the word of the Holy One of Israel they have spurned. On this account the anger of Yahweh has burned against his people, and he has stretched out his hand against them, and struck them down. And the mountains trembled, and the corpses lay like refuse in the middle of the streets. For all this, his anger is not turned back, but his hand is still stretched out. He will also lift up a standard to the distant nations, and will whistle for it from the ends of the earth. And behold, it will come with speed swiftly. No one in it is weary or stumbles. None slumbers or sleeps, nor is the belt at its waist undone, nor its sandal strap broken. Its arrows are sharp, and all its bows are bent. The hoofs of its horses seem like flint, and its chariot wheels like a whirlwind. Its roaring is like a lioness, and its roars like young lions. It growls and seizes to prey, and carries it off with no one to deliver it. And it will growl over it in that day, like the roaring of the sea. If one looks to the land, behold, there is darkness and distress, even the light is darkened by its clouds. So just a review of what we have previously discussed this past 2 weeks, from verses 8 to 19. The reading actually started with the obvious behavior that was seen from the people. Out of greed. Jews were acquiring from their fellow Jews, acquiring more than what they can actually use. Here, the concept of hoarding is obviously seen. When you amass more than what you can actually use, that is a very grave sin against Yahweh. It is one of what can be called unrighteous living. And Yahweh actually abhors that, and would often call out sinners committing this very grave sin. A perfect example are the kings in the Old Testament. Not only are they amassing properties of what they cannot actually use, they amass someone else's property by overstepping on them. That is another grave sin that Yahweh equally despises. When this behavior becomes a normal lifestyle, this individual will get used to this behavior, and he would probably act as if it is okay, that it is good, that it is normal. You who are watching now, what do you see here? This is exactly the wrongful behavior that is actually happening, even up to now. Even up to now. It is a systemic behavior that is pretty intoxicating. Why? Because with this is the twisted sense of reality that these are okay because you benefit from this. What happened to your Christian values if that is the case? And then there is the other case of self-indulgences, the quick fixes of the here and now, and never truly considered what matters the most. And what is that? The presence of Yahweh. This is exactly the same thing that is happening today. The corrupt fleshly desires covering what is actually the most important, realizing Yahweh's presence through the very creation that He did. Take a look at this text. But they did not look upon the deeds of Yahweh, nor do they see the work of His hands. And so because of these behaviors becoming the new norm, on the next text, Yahweh already gave them a firm warning. These people acted out of ignorance, or maybe they chose not to. Here are the results. Here are the results. The domino effect, due to the neglecting the importance of one's spirituality, and not just the fleshly desire. The words of Isaiah here pretty much echoed by John in his gospel account, which I would like to share with you. And that is in John chapter 15. John 15, I'll be reading to you verses 4 to 7. John 15 verses 4 to 7, and here it goes. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit from itself unless it abides in the vine. So, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him, he bears much fruit. For apart from me you can do nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he is thrown away as a branch and dries up. And they gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burnt. So if you abide in me, in my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. The concept of being one, of being able to abide, meant only one thing. Is Christ present? The word here is present. Is Christ present in you? Is Yahweh, is the Father, present in you? In your day-to-day affairs, as a human being, of course you are human, and not just a Christian, can others actually see Christ in your daily affairs? If not, then it is what, as Christ said, without Him you are nothing. You can do nothing, and you are nothing. Christians and Catholics alike, can you honestly say that Jesus is truly in you? Both the honored man and the common man experiences the same thing. Likewise, that is exactly what is happening right now. In our reading of Isaiah 5:16, it teaches us that God, that Yahweh, will be impartial, that He will be fair in judging every single person. Just like in the next verse, in verse 17, those who has seen, those who has been found good will be rewarded the abundant pasture. Being good now is being hidden behind curtains. Unrighteous living now is being shown in broad daylight without any concept of idea or any concept or idea of shame. And this is the attitude of a sinner who ignores what Yahweh truly says. And whenever God shows himself to the people, Yahweh is but being ignored. So let us go then to the next verse of Isaiah 5. And let me turn our reading, Isaiah 5, verse 20. Where it says here, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, whoever substitute darkness for light and light for darkness, who substitute bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." Here now comes what we might call the inversion of table. This verse shows the relativistic point of view. That what is good is not actually good. For someone, it may be good or evil. And likewise the same with the concept of evil, the same thing. It seems the word here is triviality, trivia. It seems the triviality of these two concepts took over, and its importance thrown outside the window. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil. It is being said, take heed for those who twist what Yahweh says, what is good and what is evil. Take heed that you don't change it. You have been warned. Who substitute darkness for light and light for darkness. Paul even reminded us that we were once children of darkness, but now we are children of light. Therefore we must walk in the light. Prophet Isaiah said the same thing, something to that effect. Let me read that to you. That is in Isaiah 9. Isaiah 9 verse 2. The people who walk in darkness will see a great light. Those who live in the land of the shadow of death, the light will shine on them. Let me lead you to something here. We are creatures endowed with knowledge, and yet we are still confused. And that is the result of sin. Because of our disconnectedness from Yahweh, from the divine. We are confused in the dark. We got so used living in the dark, we never realized that there could be something better. The light of Christ will make us see the error of our ways when we were living in darkness. When everything is brought into the light. Even Isaiah is telling us, don't get worked up in the dark. Focus on the light that Yahweh provides, and you will see rather clearly that there is a better life. A life free from deceit that lies in the dark. Brothers, not an inch that you don't need to get confused between the darkness and the light. Let the light of Christ fill your very being and realize that authentic goodness lies in the light. Authentic goodness lies in the light and not in the dark. I would have to say that in this day and age, yes, we are still living in darkness, despite the fact that certain individuals say that they can save you. I mean, say APC, the initial of the person, by the way, and the VP. They are the perfect example of living a life of deceit and lies. We are so enamored with fleshly desires and indulgences that this world is actually seducing all of us to fall. Definitely the adversary is enticing everyone now, just as it tempted Eve in the Old Testament, right there during the time of Genesis. Well, let us move on to the next line of our reading in Isaiah 5 verse 20. Let me read that to you. Who substitute bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Obviously, this illustrates the impatience of everyone here. The quick fixes, the immediate gratification of it all. And yet, Yahweh is showing here that impatience shows how untrusting you are with the Lord. Let me repeat that. Yahweh is showing here that impatience shows how untrusting you are with the Lord. These are signs that you are weak, that you are easily swayed into believing whatever the evil one can tell you. You are easily tempted because the devil saw through your weakness, that you are an easy pick for the devil. How can the devil actually see that? How? Next part, verse 21 of Isaiah 5. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and understanding in their own sight. And that is due to, the word here is pride. Pride. The phrase in this verse, wise in their own eyes. In Tagalog, we call this pagtaas ng sariling bangko. This is boastful acclamation against the very presence of Yahweh. That you can actually dispose of God, that you don't need Him, because you do not want to be told what to do. You don't want accountability for your own actions. That is why you don't want God. That is what the devil actually wants. Moving along, verses 22 to 23 of Isaiah 5. Woe to those who are mighty men in drinking wine, and valiant men in mixing strong drink, who declare the wicked righteous for a bribe, and remove the righteous standing of the ones who are righteous. Here in verse 22, mighty men in drinking wine, and valiant men in mixing strong drink, these words pretty much describe the lust of the flesh being chosen over the righteous life as prescribed by the words of God. These are sinners who truly chose rebelling intentionally against God. These, my friends, are these people who demonstrate that they are just as strong even without a God, just as the previous texts actually lead to. And the sad reality is, if you look around, this kind of attitude is rampant, violently in today's world. What could be more worse than the people pushing their own arrogance against others? The lifestyle that they think they are better than others. And I want everyone here listening, listen well and listen really hard. The people described here in verse 22, they are the ones who actually do the vilest of all sins, declaring the wicked as righteous for a bribe. And you have to get paid first just to say a lie. Where is your honesty? Where is your honesty? You accept bribe just to say another thing, just to cover the real evil and say that it is good. What could be more worse? These are the people who think they can buy morality. Morality can never be bought. How twisted can you get? How twisted can you actually get, people? If you cannot stand the people who are truly righteous, you cannot force them to leave. It is you who should actually live. These are the gravest problems that humanity is facing now. The reality, the truth can be twisted for their own end. Don't be those kind of people. Don't be like them. These people are already being set as the weeds to be burnt in the end. It is already set in verse 17. There will come a time that justice cannot be tempered with mercy anymore. And when God comes, He will come as a judge, and He will judge. And so you have to realize the importance of always putting Christ first and acting righteously as a child of God. Let us bow down our heads in prayer. Let us pray. Lord, it is truly confusing. We are so frail, we are so weak. We get so easily tempted by the fleshly desires of this world. Grant us the strength of spirit so we can endure. Keep us under the mantle of your light, O Lord, and protect us. Lead us away from evil. Amen. Thank you very much, dear brothers and sisters, for always tuning in, for watching us in our live stream of the Bible in Focus. Let me assure you, right now, if you focus yourself towards the Lord, nothing is impossible. If you put your faith on Him, and you realize that His words truly matters in your life will change for the better. Don't rely on other people. Rely on Him. That's what matters the most. Don't listen to the noise of other people, of the crowd, of those who rally. Listen to His voice alone. Because at the end of the day, you answer to no one but to God. Society changes. Kingdoms changes. Government changes. God never change. And rest assured, when God judge, He will judge. He will judge. And no one can be saved from God's judgment. Learn to pray. Learn to read the book, the Bible. Keep calm, Jesus on. Again, before we end this live stream, buy the book, Josephology, and realize how Saint Joseph can lead you to Jesus. Right? So keep calm, Jesus on. Keep safe. And God bless.